This is Act 1, Signpost 1 and Journey 1. Act 2, Act 3, and Act 4, the denouement. Here, we're going to put greed or generosity. Either greed or generosity. Let's just do it in that order. In each act, for each through line, its thematic conflict will be represented by representing each side of the thematic conflict one time. Greed, generosity. Greed, generosity. And here, greed, generosity. Together in the same scene for the first time. Why do we do this? Because if you put them in the same scene along the way, then you're saying, this one's better than that one, this one's better than that one, this one's better than that one, and you're hitting your audience over the head. If you say, let's look at greed at work and see how it does. Okay, move on. Let's see how generosity does. Let's see greed again. Let's see generosity again. Each in its own independent area. You can assign a value to each appearance of greed and generosity. You could say first, greed is +3. Hey, it's great to be greedy. And then, generosity is a +2. It's actually kind of good to be generous, too. Then greed is a -2 here. And generosity and journey 2, that's a +1. Now, we go down to Act 3, and we say in Signpost 3, greed comes out to be a +1, generosity again comes out to be a +2, and at the end, we total it up. Total the score at that point. Here we're going to say, greed is +3, -2, and +1. So greed comes out to +3, add the -2, it's down to +1, add the +1, greed comes out to +2 overall for the whole story. Towards the positive. This is an arbitrary scale. It could be 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever you want to make it. It's just that 10 would be saying it's the worst it can be, 10, or the best it could be on the high side, or -10 would be the worst it could be on the low side. Here, let's just say it's a scale of 5. 1 to +5 being better to best, -1 to -5 being worst to worst, and 0 being neutral. So we've looked at greed. Now let's look at generosity. Generosity in its scene is a +2, followed by a +1, making it a +3, followed by another +2. So generosity now comes out a +5. A +5. So that means that greed is +2, generosity is +5. What have we shown? That generosity is the greater of two goods. There's nothing wrong with greed. It's functional, it's positive, you got a +2, but generosity is the greater of two goods. You can use this way of presenting your thematic argument to have your audience experience the goodness or badness of each of these points in each of the scenes, 1 through 7 for each of the 4 through lines, and then concluding it when you get down to the bottom, so that you end up with a full set of 28 scenes. Okay. So, let's do it now with the Dramatica terms I told you about. If you look closely at the chart, which you can't because it's pretty far away, I'm going to try and hold it up, and I'm going to show you down here in physics. Can I get this in there? I wonder. Down here in physics, up here in physics, physics, there we are. Okay. There's the top of physics. There's the concerns in the chart that are underneath. And underneath that concern, there are these 4 thematic topics. Get a little closer. And they are self-interest, morality, attitude, and approach. That's the thematic quad that we have, that we've been exploring a little bit. At that bottom level, in the variations on the chart, at bottom level, you can choose any 2 that are diagonal on any one of these classes, and that can be a thematic conflict. In the Dramatica software, it has a thing called a theme browser that allows you to pick the topics and have that then determine how they're going to show up as story points. So if you know you really want to talk about self-interest versus morality, then you can go out and pick that and then say, what's it going to be? Well, that'll be the main character's thematic conflict, or that will be the objective story's thematic conflict. In the theme browser in the software, you can pick it that way. Let's take morality versus self-interest. Morality, and in Dramatica we don't mean like religious morality or ethical morality. We mean thinking about others without thinking about yourself, not worrying about yourself. It never even comes up. All your focus is on what's best for others. Self-interest, all of your interest is on self. You don't even stop to consider whether it's good or bad for others. You're not intentionally hurting anyone. You're just so focused on yourself that it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad because it never comes up. Or you're so focused on everyone else. In Brazil, the Terry Gilliam film, and in 1984, you'll find that self-interest is said to be better, a better way to approach that kind of situation, because if you do what's best for everyone else, you end up getting destroyed, either mentally or physically or both. So it's much better to be acting in one's self-interest. And other stories, like The Mission, if you've ever seen that movie, it's better to be moral because acting in one's self-interest is a downfall. In Network, acting in one's self-interest is the downfall. It is shown to be much better for everyone involved if you act in the best interest of the group instead. So that's what we mean by the two. I'll just have M and S as a shortcut. Let's lay out our cards. Let's say it's the objective story theme is morality versus self-interest. That's the conflict. So we put down, here I'm going to do it the way I did before in the row. This is all objective story. Okay, all objective story. Here's signpost 1, journey 1, signpost 2, journey 2, signpost 3, journey 3, signpost 4, and of course there's no journey 4. Remember, 4 fingers, 4 signposts, 3 journeys. Okay. So this constitutes Act 1, this constitutes Act 2 for the objective story, this constitutes Act 3. Whatever order we happen to put them in. Here we'll show morality is a +2. Here we'll show self-interest is a -3. Here we'll show self-interest this time is a +4. Morality is a -2. Self-interest is a +2. Morality is a +3. And now we total it up down here in signpost 4. The conclusion, the denouement. We say morality, positive to 2 points. Here it's -2, so right now it's down to 0. Here it is +3 points, so the conclusion comes down to morality is +3. Here we've got journey 1, self-interest is -3. Signpost 2, we put self-interest is +4, so it's a total of +1. Then we come down to self-interest again, and it's a +2, so it's a +3. Now, here we have the self-interest coming in at +3. What have we got? We're basically saying that morality and self-interest are equal. They're both to the good, but one's not better than the other. That's our thematic conclusion, as it were. Both of them are equally good. They're not perfect. Perfect would be 5. They're not 5. They have negative moments. Self-interest is a negative in journey 1. Morality is a negative in journey 2. But all things considered, overall, the mean average is, at the end of the story, neither one is better than the other, but they're both okay. What you can end up with then, and before I erase this, please note that I put the topic first, and then in the journey, I put the counterpoint, which is the other side of the thematic conflict. Here I put the counterpoint first and then the topic in this act. Then again, counterpoint and topic, and then the conclusion. It doesn't matter which one comes first. That's part of your storytelling. It's just that you don't want them both in the same scene until at the end you bring the audience to compare them, to tally it up. Now you don't want to make the tally yourself. You do it by having character members relate what happened or describe how it's come together for them now, or show plot-wise how something ended up this way or that way. But it's one scene, and in this scene you illustrate both the average of this and the average of this, but you don't bring them into conflict. It's just that within the same scene, for a change, you're going to show both of them as to how they turned out. the point and counterpoint, topic and counterpoint. Both sides of the thematic conflict appearing in the same scene.